Some leaders and progressive pundits want progressive Democrats to DemExit. Some leaders and pundits want progressive to DemEnter. How do we activate the 99% into the progressive movement so there is enough manpower to do both?
Man, whew, Jesus, oh man. So I guess the raw, independent in me would say everybody needs a DemExit, screw the Democratic Party, but that's not reality, and I understand that. I do believe that like people with the biggest platforms probably should start considering the DemExit strategy. I see that Nina is kind of getting on that train, and so is Cornel West and others. And so I would like to see that happen. However, you also can't pretend like this Democratic Party, even if everybody DemExited, still isn't the second most powerful party in the nation. So you do need some type of strategy to kind of, for the people who are in states where it's almost like a requirement, if you will, like what Hector's referring to, New Jersey. I would say that Florida is very, very similar. California even. Like, those are states where it's like, if you're not a Democrat, then you're not going to get any representation, and your races can damn near become meaningless if you're voting. And so you need to develop a strategy for that. However, there is absolutely strategy in DemExiting, and not just going into the Green Party or going to the Move for People's Party, but people really have to consider long-term reverberating effects of decisions like that. Think about everything that has come to pass because of those 14 to 16 million people who left the Democratic Party in 2015 or 2016 after they felt Bernie Sanders was cheated, because he was, right? That led to the Democratic Party, even if it was nominally creating a unity commission, which created, got us a little bit closer. And if COVID didn't happen, we honestly don't know how that would have played out, but it got us a little bit closer to getting superdelegates completely off the ballot. We saw independent media kind of rise because of the interest of the DemExit movement. We saw at that point, Jill Stein was breaking fundraising records. Green Party was getting money they had never even thought they'd get before, because of the DemExit movement. So we had a strengthening of the Green Party. I would say that's probably how I got involved in any serious way with the Green Party, because before I just kind of thought that was like a pipe dream type of situation.
Yeah, basically, I'm definitely going to be the other side of it. I think the best thing that we could do is have a mass DemEnter and have people flood the Democratic Party, because obviously we have the numbers. The thing that kind of, I guess, sometimes irks me about the Green Party or MPP nationally or any other type of movement is that you're splintering the progressive base into different factions, and when what we really need is unity. Of course, the Democratic Party is trash. They're run by corporatists. But if we could flood, if every single Green, if every single MPP, if every single unaffiliated voter or just non-voter flooded the Democratic Party, you could easily take it over, and you could easily move it into a direction that is much more progressive, and then you actually have power behind it. The problem with creating a new party is that you're basically starting from a position of absolutely no power. The political system is built against you. It's built to disenfranchise you. It's meant to keep you off the ballot. It's meant to do so many other things that it's almost like if you were to step into a boxing match, but you had to agree to tie one arm behind your back. Why would you do that? Whereas if we were to mass get people to sign up into the Democratic Party, what you could actually do is actually do what they do to us and co-opt their party, which is, what to me, is a much more strategic vision than trying to build something on the outside of the political system that essentially has no power, and try to build power where, we really have none.
I want to talk about even expanding beyond people who are even involved right now into politics. One of the, if I could come up with a good thing for having Donald Trump as president, was that he activated a lot of people who were not into politics, that didn't know much about politics. He was able to activate, I believe, Indivisible took a big advantage of that. They grew big time after he was elected, and just they had the women's marches, that just a whole bunch of people just got activated. Whether you would say they got activated into the quote unquote resistance, which is more like the establishment, people against Trump, or what. But one thing that I would say, and I got to look more into it. I know DSA does community activism where they try to feed people in their local neighborhoods. I know Black Panthers used to do this. They used to feed the people in their local neighborhoods. And I think that one of the ways that you can activate people along with, you know, big political events happening is just to directly be in their face and show them how you can benefit them, right? Whether it's food pantries or food donations or any maybe doing youth activities to bring out the youth and get them politically activated. Because guess what? If you attract people who are 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, in a couple of years, they're going to be the next volunteers. They're going to be voting soon. So that's my idea for trying to expand the party.
So in response to what Hector said, it does sound like a great idea. The problem with that strategy is that I've seen it implemented already, and I saw it implemented almost to success. Like, people forget Bernie set the record for the Democratic Party for creating new party registrations into the Democratic Party in 2016. And I know because Trump did the exact same thing, which is why it was so easy to predict that Trump was going to win. Fast forward to 2020, Bernie does it again. And this time we had a unity commission and he had been he was a party leader in the Senate. You had some of the biggest and brightest names, the most successful organizers. You raised the most money from the most individuals. You set the record for the amount of volunteers in a campaign, like 1 million volunteers they had. The man only lost the primary by 3 million votes in 2016. And yet we still saw Kimberly Ellison at the California Democratic Convention get cheated for Rusty Hicks, despite the fact that the Bernie crowd was overwhelmingly the most popular crowd in California for that convention. It was literally the Bernie crowd, Tulsi crowd, and the Warren crowd. And yet Kim Ellis, running as a pro-Bernie candidate, got beat. Not because she lost legitimately, by the way, because I was there for it. We got coverage of all the stuff that had to go down for her to be cheated. We see Jen Perlman, despite all the energy behind her, gets cheated by Debbie Wasserman Schultz again. Tim Canova, literally, it didn't matter how many people were on the ballot because it took one election supervisor to destroy 10,000 ballots. And because of people's allegiances to the Democratic establishment, people did not want to call them out for what took place. Like, that's what we're dealing with right now. And look at what's going on with AOC. It went from everybody has to believe Dr. Ford, Kavanaugh is immediately guilty. We have to make sure he never sits in a judgeship seat. And now it's, well, you know, Tara Reid didn't say she wasn't going to vote for Joe Biden. That's a quote from AOC when asked about the Tara Reid situation. Why? Because her loyalty is to the Democratic Party and therefore the Democratic establishment. And so you lose all that momentum, which is why I say it's important for the bigger names, of course, to kind of to consider DemExiting depending on what their situation is. So we've already used that strategy of trying to take over the Democratic Party, and it looked as if it was going to be successful. The problem is, look at what the result is. We got something that some people would maybe consider worse than Hillary, because we don't know whether Joe Biden's going to finish this first term. The man has dementia. And he's, kind of an open racist. So there's that.
I think we could probably do a whole show on DemExit, DemEnter, and have a healthy debate on this one. But I'm going to keep it moving. And by the way, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about ideas. I really want strictly ideas on how we can expand the party, how we can, maybe reach out to some people that are unicorns, progressive Republicans. Do they exist? I don't know, but we want to expand the party. How can we do that? Give me some ideas below in the comment section below.